The history of the universe is a story of things expanding and cooling, and because of that, changing. 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was so hot and dense that our physics breaks down. We don't actually have the physics to describe what was going on then. But over time, it cooled, and we got things like quarks, but it was too hot to make things like protons and neutrons until it cooled some more, and then we could have protons and neutrons. And those protons and neutrons could combine to make elements like hydrogen and helium and a tiny bit of lithium and beryllium. But that process, called Big Bang nucleosynthesis, could only happen for a few minutes because the universe kept on cooling and eventually became too cool for that fusion to happen. But it was still too hot for the electrons to combine with the atoms. So for 380,000 years, you had a bunch of electrons flying around and light couldn't get very far before running into them. The entire universe was opaque. It was like being in the center of a star. Until the universe cooled and expanded to a point where the electrons could attach with the atoms and light could get across the universe for the first time. This light we still see today, by the way, in the form of the cosmic microwave background. All of these atoms and dark matter started to clump together as the universe cooled and expanded until eventually they were cool enough to collapse in and form stars. And then form a lot of stars and make galaxies, and by the time the universe was around 1 billion years old, it looked relatively similar to how it does today. There weren't as many heavy elements because those get produced by stars and there hadn't been that many generations of stars at that point, but there were stars and galaxies and black holes. And over time, those galaxies grew and they merged and they shrank and they clumped together. And after 8 billion years of this, our solar system formed, and eventually we came around and we looked up and we saw the cosmic microwave background and we saw galaxies moving away from us and we realized the universe is cooling and expanding. And that's the foundations of cosmology. All the Big Bang Theory says at its root is that the universe used to be hot and dense and has cooled and expanded over time, and if that weren't the case, we wouldn't be here.